In this video, you'll learn the basic techniques for locker hooking and how to make this beautiful Santa Barbara trivet. You first need to prepare your canvas. You'll cut it to size according to the pattern and then fold over about 4 squares. It's really 3 squares, and you crease that 4th row to create a firm edge. And you do that by pressing that 4th row all the way around until you have a nicely creased edge. And the next step is framing your edge. You'll take a tapestry needle and a fabric strip about 2 yards in length, thread it through the needle, and you're going to whip stitch the edge. And you can start really anywhere around the edge, but you pull it through and leave about 1 inch to 1.5 inch tail. And you just wrap the edge by whip stitching. And as you do this, you want to grab that tail and conceal it. And you keep stitching your edge by wrapping. For corners, you're going to want to whip stitch twice to frame it neatly. And you want to just use your fingers to get good coverage and wrap around that corner twice, or 3 times if needed, just to get that corner nicely covered. And now we're ready to begin locker hooking. Take your locker hook and some locking medium, and it can be a black twine or acrylic yarn or an acrylic blend, and you thread it through the eye of the locker hook about 2 yards in length, and then you take your fabric strip in the color according to the pattern, and you begin locker hooking at the very edge of the canvas where it's wrapped, not the square in front, but right next to the wrapping. You start by pulling up your first loop, and you want to leave a tail when you do this. You pull up your first loop and you give it a tug, and you want it to be about 1/4 inch to maybe 3/8 inches in height, but around 1/4 inch will work well. And then you pull up your second loop and give it a tug to match the height of the first loop. And then you continue to pull up loops. Every time you pull up a loop, give it a nice tug to match the previous height. And add some more loops. Keep pulling up loops. And do as many as you're comfortable with. Always give a nice tug so that you don't end up with uneven loops. There we go. And make sure that you're always matching the height of the loops, and then you pull your locking medium through, just like that, and leave a tail there as well, about 1.5 inches to 2 inches. So a little thread there. There we go. And then continue locker hooking. Pull up additional loops. Make sure it's about 1/4 inch in height. A little more is okay. Grab your loop, pull it up, give it a tug. And there we go. We're now locker hooking. And it's really pretty easy. You just need to match the height in your loops. And there we go. And you pull your locking medium through again. And there they are, your first loops. Now you want to do the corners, and sometimes the corners are really tight because the canvas is doubled up there. So you want to do those corners sometimes a loop at a time. So push through gently and then pull through gently. And it'll be much easier if you do them a loop at a time. Push through and then pull up and kind of twist and pull. That always helps get the locker hook through easily. When it comes time to change colors, you just want to take your new strip and leave a tail, and about 1.5 inches or 2 inches is good. Pull up your new color and then just continue locker hooking with your new color and pulling up loops. And every time you need to change a color, you drop the previous color, leave a tail, and pick up your new color, just like that, and then continue to locker hook. Once you're done locker hooking, it's time to sew in tails, and you're going to use your locker hook, and you want to use the needle eye end of the locker hook like this, and you push that through the front to the back where the tail is, right next door, actually not in the same square because you'll undo your work, but the square right next to it. And then you thread that tail through the needle eye, just like that, and pull it through. And you do that with all your tails. You use the back end like that and pull it through. And then you want to sew it in. So you go right in front of that row where the tail was pulled up, about 4 or 5 loops back. Weave that back end through to where the tail is. And there it is. And then you thread the tail through and you sew it into those loops. And then clip the remaining tail really close. So you need a sharp pair of craft scissors. There we go. And here is the trivet ready to be finished. We just need to glue in the ceramic tile. This is a really pretty tile that is handcrafted, and you use quick grip or a similar adhesive because you want something that is permanent and that will hold on the canvas. And you don't need a lot of adhesive, you need just a bead around the edges, like that, maybe a little in the center, in the corners. That should do it. And then just take the ceramic and press it in place and protect your workspace with a piece of paper or something else. And just press it in place and then use your fingers to pull out the loops from around the edges. Just like that. And press it in. And there we go. And there it is, your Santa Barbara trivet. I love the color combination in this kit. It works really well with the tile. To buy the kit, go to colorcrazy.com.